streets. It's time again. Andy and Merlin, your cursed best friends. Flames rise high. Don't even try. 'Cause we're all gonna
All right, it's Andy and Merlin, and it's our very first episode of We Are All Going to Die. We're going to talk about politics, pop culture, what we're doing in our lives. So I think it's best we do the bad news first, the good news last, so you can end with more of a higher, cheerier note. What do you think, Andy?
I've never done a show before, so I'm a little worried. I got to be honest. But
All right.
I
persuaded you to do this, so thank you very much. We're going to talk about, of course, politics. I don't want to end the show like us high on anxiety and depression and with all this shit's going on, because it's endless. And with Trump in office, it's just going to happen every single day. So we're going to talk about politics first and all the bullshit that's been going on. Then we'll end about like all this fun stuff that we've been doing. Andy and I went to the Grammy Museum last night to see Bear McCreary do a score for Lord of the Rings for the Emmys. That was a great treat.
that was super interesting.
Tomorrow night, we'll talk about that. I'm going to the WWE on Saturday, going over my friend Zach Saturday morning to see WWE versus the Lucha Libres of Mexico against each other, gets Worlds Collide, and taking my girlfriend Maria to her first WWE pay-per-view, Money in the Bank at the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles on Saturday night. So that's going to be fun. And then Sunday, I'm going to end it off. Dude, Andy, I'm doing a dynasty league in fantasy football, and we're already having a rookie draft. I've never done this before. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I've done regular drafts for the past 25 years, but I've never done an early rookie draft. Have you?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so
I've only done normal,
like, I don't even know who got drafted except for Deion Sanders' son. That was it. So I'm screwed, man.
You've already sparked a question for me.
What's that?
So you're a wrestling fan.
I am, yes.
But politics, you weren't always like super into.
No, not as much. But I mean, I did it for whatever, but I've never got into it until it got as spicy as it has and so toxic that I felt like I needed to speak up.
That like this is what I'm getting at. It's so funny that as soon as politics became like wrestling, you love it.
No, I don't but I'm not loving it right now. I don't enjoy seeing my favorite wrestler get pummeled to the ground in a lifeless body. I want him to see him win eventually. You know, I want to see my favorite baby face win against the heel.
Right now, the heel's winning in the White House, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's not good.
No, and he's like a fat flubber. He's not like Roman Reigns or John Cena. He looks more like Adrian Adonis did in the 80s. I can't believe people looked like that and wrestled at WrestleMania. Do you remember Adrian Adonis?
No.
He kind of got the whole thing started between Andre and Hulk Hogan that started kind of WrestleMania 3. But he was kind of like at first he was kind of like a heavy metal, like leather biker dude. And then he kind of turned into some kind of weird, fat, grotesque, like drag queen looking dude. It was terrible. And he had this like segment called the Flower Shop or something. It was like really weird. I can't believe, speaking of all, Vince McMahon was allowed a character like that back in the 80s. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, my wrestling like knowledge is like the Ultimate Warrior and the Undertaker. And it only lasted like a few months. I was into it. Now I just like, my favorite is the Undertaker's pallbearer. That guy's amazing. That is an amazing character. He's
what you're trying to get for? Are you going to be the pallbearer of politics?
If it gets Trump out of office, then yeah, I'll do anything.
Okay, well, anyway, let's talk about politics first. I meant Andy and I. This is our pilot premiere episode. I came up with a whole list of topics to talk about for today's episode. And while we were getting ready for today, the shit hit the fan and all this stuff. This is how toxic this government is. Every day is a whole new thing. I've got to, we can still talk about this stuff, but today is day one. Speaking of WrestleMania and wrestling, today is the beginning of the public feud between Elon Musk and Donald Trump, as everybody knows. If you don't know what's going on, you're living under a rock. You're just like tuning off big time. And I don't blame you, but if you are in the politics, the shit has hit the fan today. What do you think, Andy?
Yeah, today everybody was talking about it. Every YouTuber, mainstream media, it was everywhere. It was hilarious.
Yeah, and basically tell the audience kind of like what has happened so far from your viewpoint.
So DOGE finally ended. Elon Musk is out of cutting people's jobs. I think that's all he really accomplished. I never saw anything about this fraud. I never saw anything about proof that there was tons of waste. He just cut a lot of civil servants and ended their
and fired a lot of people, I guess, who were like I guess I can't think of the word. They were trying to I guess like the emissions or whatever, what you call it, the Better Business Bureau people, whoever they are, were like inspecting Tesla and his other agencies, especially like Starlink, and then of course SpaceX and things like that. And he made sure that he dismantled all those programs so he wouldn't get shafted by them or have to pay taxes or whatever, or emissions or whatever, right?
Yeah, he cut a lot of people out and got Trump to kill investigations into his companies by all of the different government departments. It's really quite amazing. I think maybe, I'm not sure when we'll get into it, but like I read through Elizabeth Warren's report.
Oh, you did?
On Elon Musk and his basically his corruption. And it's wild. Like, she broke it up into like a few different categories. And one of the greatest one obviously is he got Trump to hawk Teslas on the White House lawn.
I love Tesla.
That's hilarious.
Thank you all very much. I love Tesla.
Yeah, we know he
doesn't love
loves
Tesla anymore.
What's that?
I said he probably doesn't love Tesla anymore because it's all computer.
But literally every Department of Defense, Department of Transportation, NASA, everything, he pushed. I don't know how much approval he got, but he at least pushed for funding to get Starlink in control of that and SpaceX in control of that. And it's just like a corporate takeover of things that traditionally have been government run.
It's for checks and balances, basically, right?
Yeah. I mean, like the EPA, he got things going there, deals to make money off that. So it's.
And I think that's where the tension started setting in, is during this big, beautiful bill. Remember, now Elon's trying to play it as if he cares about the everyday people like you and me, where it's really about him. Remember, these people are very self-centered and narcissistic people. So don't let this guy fool you. Elon's still not on our side, guys. He's still a corrupt asshole.
Oh, yeah, no way.
All he cares about is his money and his ruling and taking over. He wants to be an oligarch. That's all what's going on here, because he's mad about the emissions, I guess, for his EV emissions or whatever. and how that would affect Tesla. He was upset about, I guess, Starlink, I guess, SpaceX, and all that stuff that's in this big, beautiful bill. And that's why he doesn't agree with it, because it's going to affect him and his companies and his money.
Yeah, it's really weird though, because like he's mentally like not
both of them are.
there. Like, he's messed up, because like his whole Doge thing, the entire months of Doge, just did so much damage to Tesla and his company. So it's like, it's wild that he would stick with it.
Yeah, because people started like boycotting buying Teslas around, not only in the United States, but around the world.
Especially around the world.
Yeah, especially around the world. Like Germany quits even selling them. And that like hurt them. And I'm like, what are you thinking, dude? Like, what are you thinking? Like, get off the K.
Have you
doing the pterodactyl, the T-Rex.
T-Rex. I bet. I've been there, but but I would never do like anything that would affect my like appearance on a national like interview. Like he does not care, or is just completely not there.
I mean, well, I think he's on the spectrum, obviously. Don't you agree?
Yeah, probably.
There's nothing wrong with that, but you're on the spectrum. He's on the spectrum, so he doesn't have any cues really. Like when he was laughing about how he axed all these employees, and realized he axed all the employees who are doing the research for the Ebola virus, and then he starts laughing about it as if it's funny, and then realized, oh, we didn't have Ebola virus, checks for like a day or two. Oh my, you're like, oh my God, that could have been catastrophic. Or getting rid of the people who run the nuclear warheads and things like that.
Right. Yeah. In a lot of places it was catastrophic. Like, I don't know if I don't watch or listen to Joe Rogan much.
Right.
His podcast, but I did catch a little, some news stories about him having Bono on.
Okay.
And they're like, literally a lot of people died by that abrupt cut of USAID.
Oh, the USAID?
Yeah, like a lot more than you would even expect. The one story I heard, like, that they really like put out there for everybody was someplace in Africa, a woman with a son who had needed care on the day that it was cut off, and the son died. Like literally because they couldn't get any care because nobody was in the building, because they cut all the funding, and so nobody was there. That's really messed up.
It is.
And I don't really understand, like, one of the things that I don't know if it's conservatives or Republicans or MAGA, but they don't understand that a lot of the systems we have in place, like, are in place because of years of problems that we've, sort of like trial and error. We figured out things like, oh, this could happen, so we need to have a process ready if that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And they look at it like, oh, it's just a waste of money.
No, they see it like running a company. Like, you don't need this stuff. They don't understand the importance of why it's there to begin with.
Yeah, and the biggest thing, like maybe they just don't want to help, say, this African country or that African country, but there's reasoning behind why we do it. And USAID provided certain things for, like I said, this African country, because we don't want other large nations to dominate that area of the world.
Right.
Like, so say, I'm trying to, Nigeria, just as an example.
Right.
Like, we provide so much to Nigeria to help with, these poor areas of the country, and get medical supplies and food for people who don't have it. And that makes us look really, it buys us like if they have a problem, they're going to come to us instead of like going to China or something. If they say, hey, we just discovered these amazing diamond mines in our country, you know, what do we do with them? How do we get them out and do this? It's about America keeping kind of a dominance, but like an area of not control, but influence in all these countries, and not allowing China or
and then
Russia.
a lot of these, and it's funny because a lot of these countries that need us, he banned today. You know, he said because of what happened in Colorado, and that guy who burned for the Israeli march in Colorado was Egyptian, from Egypt. He didn't ban Egypt. He banned countries that had nothing to do with anything. And he didn't tell the reason. They didn't even tell the reason why these countries are banned. I think like 12 or 19 countries, right? There's like the Republic of Congo, Guinea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia.
White South Africans.
Yeah.
No, he did. Those are the only ones he's letting in.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh, but none of those people did any terrorist type things here.
Yeah, it's
There's no rhyme or reason.
A conservative trait they have of lumping groups together. One person, it doesn't matter if he's Egyptian or anything. He's from the Middle East. He's from over there.
Right.
Like somewhere over there. So everybody from over there is bad.
I know,
it's
right?
Like, it's
unless you give them a lot of money.
Yeah, of course. But like, I mean, it's like the uptick in hate towards Muslims after 9/11.
You're right.
Like, there's billions of Muslims in the world.
Yes,
majority of them had nothing to do with it. It was like 19 people,
Right. And many Muslims are just like everyday people. They're just they just want to have a life and a family and a career and be like a Christian is or a Jewish person is or whatever. They're not radicals. So there's radicals in every type of religion.
There's radical Christians and radical white people.
We're experiencing them right now as we speak. They're trying to infiltrate the White House.
Yeah, it was funny though. Like, I have a grandfather who is he's a Republican.
Oh, okay.
Without a doubt.
Cool. Right.
And I'll never forget this one time he told me about like how people on welfare are just scamming the system. They're lazy.
Right.
And I asked him why he thinks that, and the story I got was, he met a guy in the bar once who told him about how that one guy is scamming the system.
Okay.
So he met one guy who's scamming the system, and now everybody on the system is just scamming. They're lazy. They don't want to work. This whole type of thing.
Yeah, it's not the other way around. Where a lot of people are trying to work, but there are always going to be a couple scammers.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's the way life is. People take advantage of the situation.
Yeah, I tried scamming before. I got too scared. But I
thought
I was gonna get in trouble for it.
That's going to show up in your data that's been stolen by Elon. The database.
Probably.
Oh my gosh! And I heard about that too. Why did Elon give the databases that DOGE took from all of us and give it to Russia?
He did give it to Russia?
That's what I've heard.
Oh, that's not good.
No. Is that why Trump is in cahoots with Putin?
No, Trump's in cahoots with Putin because
he gets
going all the way back to the 80s. Trump's real estate is where a lot of the oligarchs park their money.
Right.
Like that they would overpay for a Trump property just to make sure they got it. But then, if it's worth 700,000 in the 80s, and they just keeping that as an investment, and it goes up, and now it's like a few million. But it's just to park their money so that it can be somewhere where it's off the books in Russia, and it's kind of a place where, not in a bank where the United States could put sanctions on him and just kind of
Right.
we don't really steal the money, but hold it so he can't get at it.
All right. Or is it in crypto?
It's in your meme coins.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, like, after Ukraine did the drone attacks on the planes in Russia the other day, and then Trump apparently had a call with Putin, and then he posted on Truth Social and said, "Oh, I had a really good talk with Putin, but nothing was resolved from this." But he said that Putin will retaliate, and we were like, "Well, how's that a good talk when nothing got resolved from the conversation?" Like, he's always saying that it's a beautiful talk, but nothing. He's just said he's going to, like, if he says he's going to attack, that's not a good. And of course he's going to attack. Like, who doesn't doubt that, right?
Yeah. Without a doubt, he's going to retaliate. But it's.
And then, so is that Trump giving Putin the green light? And, like, what is that about? And then why did Trump later delete that post?
You're making it hard on me. I can't solve Trump's brain.
We knew sooner or later there was going to be like a civil war, but I thought it was going to be like the Democrats versus, the MAGA, right? Or Trump's people. But man, the civil war is even more within. It's within MAGA now.
Oh, yeah.
So the thing is, okay, you either have Trump, who's the most powerful man in the world now, or you have Elon, who's the most richest man, who also has a lot of power because the money.
Right.
Who do you go with? Because Elon, who put the money into Trump and to some other politicians to help with their campaigns, or you go with Trump. You know what I mean? So there's all these. So there's going to be a huge civil war going on. People are going to be divided who to side with.
Yeah, it's really going to be interesting, but I think Elon's got the power, to be honest with you.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Because Trump's only real power is in his, like, the sycophants of MAGA, the ones who will, when Trump says this judge is doing bad, they'll go to his house or call him and threaten him.
Okay.
Elon's got. I mean, he can.
Trump likes to target people on social media, basically.
Right, and
to abuse his power as a president by using the strong arm of America for his advantage only.
Right. It's like all the Republicans that continue to kiss his ass is simply because of this MAGA base that will turn against them.
Right. It's like a cult.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting. And then already I read that Steve Bannon and some other people are telling Trump that they want to now deport Elon, kick him out of the U.S. now since he's a legal immigrant.
That would I'd love to see that. That'd be hilarious.
Oh, my God. Whose side are you on? You team Trump or team Musk?
If there was a way that they could just, like, destroy each other, that's what I'm on. Like,
just
they're the worst.
I
have a particular disgust of rich people.
Yes.
And I'm not talking about, like, I have $1 million rich. I'm talking about, like, really the rich ones who do, like, disgusting things, like Elon Musk putting himself in the government, cutting all these regular people's jobs, like.
Yeah, and then bragging about it at a convention and having a chainsaw out.
Yeah.
Out of it.
And it's out of, like, I think he's just he's desperate to be like the first trillionaire.
Right.
Is really what it is. And him and Bezos,
and Zuckerberg.
They're literally, like, running around having a dick measuring contest with their space shit. Although I don't know all the details, but I do hear that, like, Bezos is donating a ton now, I think. Am I?
Like charities
think-
and stuff kind of thing?
Yeah.
Is he
Like,
going to go do it now to replace USAID or what?
well,
Because these guys can do it.
I think it was him. I hope I'm not thinking the Microsoft guy, Bill Gates.
Okay. It sounds more like a Gates thing.
It does sound like a
Just-
Gates thing, and that's why I'm thrown
That's
off.
why
right
they
now.
that's why they hate Gates. Like
Yeah.
Gates is a devil because he's too giving.
Yeah, he talking like I'm talking about like billions
And
of
he
dollars
believes in
to Africa.
vaccines and health and science. But yeah, it's going to get crazy, dude. Like it's just one thing after another, man. And I mean, what's going to happen with this Epstein thing now? Like, I mean, it's like, you know, when social media started, like MySpace or Facebook started and all this other stuff, and then you could tell like when a couple starts to break up because they started posting on Facebook, you know, like my life's changing for the best. I'm leaving, you know.
Oh yeah,
this relationship, and you're like, oh, so and so broke up, you know.
that was back.
And then it starts getting ugly, and you can tell they're indirectly talking about one another. The couples are, and they're talking shit about one another just so they can get it out in the open, so people will take sides for either the boyfriend or the girlfriend, right?
Yeah, in public posts, they're putting it out
it's
there
like
for the whole world.
This is a public breakup right now going on, and then it's just like, oh, you hurt me, oh, that you hurt my ego, and now, of course, then I guess it's kind of a low blow where Elon eventually said that, listen, Trump, you're all over the Epstein files. You really are. People are gonna find out sooner or later.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Well, only his sycophantic fans, like, somehow they believe Bill Clinton.
They still think it's Clinton, right?
They think Bill Clinton was involved,
but there's no photos.
But they do not think Trump was involved.
And
even
Trump's
though there's videos
photos with Epstein.
I don't think I've spoken to him for 15 years.
Yet, a tape in the NBC archives of a Mar-a-Lago party shows Trump giving Epstein his personal attention.
Trump's in like 100 photos with Epstein.
Oh yeah, video.
They even did like news pieces together. Like they were on like news. They're like, oh, here's Trump hanging out with Epstein at the parties. They both like hot girls. They're pointing at girls. If you see that clip, if you show that clip, you'll see it where I forgot it was like on NBC or something. They are dancing with young girls.
And there's also
they would never say today because that'd be so on PC. But like 30 years ago, it was all over the news on TV.
Oh yeah, and there's also that famous quote that Trump said about Epstein.
And what was that?
He said something to the effect of, I know Epstein. He's a really great guy, and it's even said he loves women, beautiful women, as much as I do. Although he tends to like them on the young side.
Yeah.
Trump knew what was going on without a doubt. There's no way he didn't.
And do you believe he's in the files?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Do you think Biden's in the files?
I don't know about Biden.
Yeah. I don't think so at all. But the sycophants think so.
Clinton probably.
But if they were, don't you think Trump would have had all that stuff out?
See, that's the thing. He's got to worry about himself.
Yeah, well, he's probably more in it than they ever were.
He just wants that to go away. You start rocking the boat, more things might come out.
And what do you think is going to happen? You think Congress or the Senate is going to be able to obtain the Epstein files and show the public, or what's going to happen?
No way.
What? You think so?
Yeah,
you think they'll destroy it all?
Yeah, I mean,
you think Kat Patel and Dan Bongino from Fox News are gonna just?
Oh, did you see them change their whole attitude? Like, yes. They're like, yeah, we've seen it. Yep.
Oh, he died. We don't need to show it anymore. Nope, you don't need to see the. Whereas when they were on their shows, they would talk about like, oh yeah, Biden, the Clintons, and everybody, all those Democrats all over it, man. We got to show these files, and now they're just like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, they changed their attitude. I've heard I don't know if you want to get into it, but I've heard some wild stories, conspiracy theories about the Epstein files.
And what's allegedly what were they about?
Well, I've heard one that says that Epstein was actually like the FBI knew about what he was doing, and it was like they gave their blessing because the idea was to capture uh like powerful people and have dirt on them,
Okay.
like other heads of state or even people like within our government.
So they were kind of using Epstein as a setup for other people?
And the FBI knew all about it.
Really?
I mean, it's a conspiracy theory.
It's
So
a
like,
rumor. Yeah, conspiracy
yeah,
rumor.
it could be crazy. I even heard
Don't go down the QAnon type hole, right?
yeah, the next couple of days it morphed into, it wasn't the FBI, but it was Mossad. It was Israel's intelligence agency that funded Epstein because they wanted dirt on powerful people, including United States like politicians. But I mean, conspiracies are fun, but
They're conspiracies.
yeah, like there's
The
no
next thing we'll find out that the Trump we saw with Epstein was also a robot, just like Biden.
right. Yeah. There's
It's
like
just ridiculous.
absolutely no evidence that points to this being a possibility. And that's what makes it a conspiracy theory. But you know, they can be fun as long as you don't go too far with it or use them in an
Fans are
argument.
already like they're already. If you noticed, like when I started watching, all our favorite YouTube political guys, content guys, you know me, I watch a ton of them. Brian Tyler Cohen, Luke Beasley, Adam Mockler, David Packman, The Bulwark, so on and so on. And while they were like talking about what's happened today, they were looking, I guess, on True Social or X or something. There's all kinds of like already conspiracies. They're saying that the one that really struck out to me, the conspiracy was that this is all a setup by Musk and like JD Vance and them, that they set up Trump. So Trump gets impeached so JD can take over and he can help the oligarchs out. This is the way to get because Trump is going, senile and stuff. So this is a way to push him out. Like this is a setup for Trump. Like Trump is just a pawn in their overall scheme.
Yeah.
Have you heard about that?
I haven't heard that one, but I don't even believe it for a second because I don't think any Republicans in Congress have
that clever,
have the balls to impeach Trump.
Right.
There was 5 of them last time when he actually did something wrong.
Like the insurrection.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're that clever. Do you?
No way.
Huh?
No way. Trump's really smart when it comes to like media and marketing his name.
Right. Branding, yeah.
But he's a dumbass when it comes
to actually to create a whole like strategy, a complex strategy. Like he thinks he's like, the weave and the 40 chess and all that crap. I don't buy that for a minute. Do you? I don't think any of his people can think that clever either. Do you?
No, there's like a little bit where I give him a little credit. Like I think he purposely crashed the markets with his like tariffs.
Oh, to see if he can do it and then see if he can get away
so he could buy in low.
Yeah.
I think he did that on like he's smart enough to have that kind of plan.
And I think at first he was like, what happens if I do that? What happens if I push the tariff button and then undo it and then I tell people, because now I'm
yeah, when it comes to
safe. Like, they're not gonna do anything to me, right?
When it comes to like 2-bit scams, he knows how to do those for sure.
Yeah, he's good at scamming.
Yeah.
He's good at selling snake oil, isn't he?
His Trump coin.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's ridiculous, man. We were going to talk about like Joni Earth. That was the name of the title.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, why are we all going to die?
They are not eligible, so they will be coming off. So People are not, well, we all are going to die. So, for heaven's sakes.
Joni Ertz, the senator from Iowa at the town hall, that was going to be our first topic before the shit hit the fan today. This is what MAGA's thinks, this is almost like sarcastic pun of really what they think. They're like, we don't care about anybody because you're all going to freaking die at some point. And who cares if you die tomorrow or if you die 10 years from now? We don't really care. We just care about ourselves. Do you believe the same thing?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's definitely a selfishness that comes over a lot of conservative sort of ideals. I'm kind of torn on the Joni Ernst because it's just so stupid, and I've seen for years Republicans like showing absolute disdain for their base, for their constituents. Like that's an everyday occurrence. So it's not surprising.
I really feel like when she said that, she really was giving them all a middle finger. Do you agree?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then what was even worse was her apology video that she made. Did you see it?
Oh yeah, I saw it. The last comment about the tooth fairy was a little surprising.
I made an incorrect assumption that everyone in the auditorium understood that, yes, we are all going to perish from this earth. So I apologize. And I'm really, really glad that I did not have to bring up the subject of the tooth fairy as well.
That was another FU.
Yeah, yeah.
And then having it in the cemetery?
Yeah.
That was
I don't know
another
who came up
troll
with
FU.
that idea, but like personally, I think conservatives should steer clear of comedy. Like they don't know how to do it. They're never funny. It just comes off as dickish most of the time.
And they can't laugh about themselves either. They have no sense of humor about themselves as well.
Oh yeah, that's
you even like bust their balls or just be sarcastic to them. They're a bunch of snowflakes. They can't like, oh, you're so silly, Merlin or Andy. Like, but no, they'll be like, oh, how dare you say that about me? Like, dude, I'm kidding, man. Like, cool your jets, man. Like, relax. Just a joke, man. Can you take They can't take sarcasm whatsoever.
No,
at all.
No, and
no. Even my MAGA friends, they can't not. They don't understand sarcasm. They don't understand what jokes are. They don't even like They don't even like watch comedy. They don't like stand up. It's like Jim Brewer or Rob Schneider.
Jim Brewer pisses me off.
Yeah, right.
I loved him.
Yeah, me too. On SNL.
Yeah,
he was the Goat Boy.
Yeah, and I loved him telling stories on like Howard Stern, and then like COVID hit. We just came out with this weird ass like anti-mask thing, and it was just like, fuck is wrong with you, dude?
Hell, I even liked Roseanne till she got weird and crazy. What happened to these people? Too much drugs.
Roseanne's amazing too because like her show Roseanne, was like so groundbreaking. Right. Like the idea of making a show about
middle America, working blue collar working
class people, which most of America is, but like there wasn't anything like that, and a lot of America was able to connect with those stories and problems that happened in that show, and then like it's money. That's what happened. She became rich. Like I love Dave Chappelle.
Right.
But he's done some weird stuff lately. I really get the sense that he's like one of those people that's like, I got mine, so fuck you. He literally was against low income housing in his town that he lives in Ohio.
Right.
Why fight it? Why fight against that? Like now you got $1 billion, so you don't care about anybody else that's where you were, where you struggled. You struggled to get where you are.
Well, I also think it's just like anybody else. I mean, Trump's the biggest example. I think when you become so successful, you end up with a lot of people who want to be around you, be like you, so they all become yes men. No one tells you, hey, dude, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Or you shouldn't say that, because they feel like everything you touch at this point, your comedy is all gold. Everything you say is gold. So why I should not doubt that person. And then if I doubt that person, I might get fired by either him or, his manager or, the agent or somebody,
Yeah.
and I'll lose my job.
Then they turn into Diddy.
God damn. Who also has 100 pictures with Trump as well. And then I heard that Trump, you heard him talk about, he's thinking about pardoning Diddy. That's going to be the worst thing ever. That's women who have been hurt and abused by Diddy. That's messed up. And I think 50 Cent, who has also gone pro-Trump, MAGA, he said he had to call Trump when he heard that. And so like, dude, man, listen, you're taking this a little too far now with this.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
Like, dude, like this guy has harmed a lot. Like this, that's effed up. If you pardon him, man, don't go there. Please don't.
I never liked Diddy. I always thought he was a tool.
But Fitty, he hate Diddy.
Yeah,
Fitty Diddy.
He saw it right in the beginning.
Yeah, he saw it right in the beginning. So even though Fitty is MAGA now too, he's like, dude, put the kibosh on talking about pardoning Diddy because he's done some effed up crap, dude.
Yeah, I
don't be associated with that at all.
I read a little bit about that, like his case and stuff, and some of that's wild.
Oh, it's crazy, man.
Like Usher's testimony. Ooh.
What was that? Well, tell me later. Was it pretty bad?
Tomorrow's episode.
Okay, tomorrow's episode. Yeah.
Or
so
next week, whenever we do that.
Oh my God! So I'm reading right now as it come up. This flashed up from AP that what the Trump travel ban means for the 2026 World Cup and the 2028 Olympic Games. Oh my God! Can you imagine that? People, and plus just people going to be harassed if they fly in here to the United States from all these other countries. Imagine this, all this harassment they're giving people who are flying in already and getting detained. What's it going to be like from all these other countries, even like our adversarial countries who have every right to come here, to the athletes who are allowed to participate in sports?
It's scary. I don't know. They obviously got to allow the athletes in, but I'm more worried about like.
Are they though? Is it going to get radicalized enough where like people like, no, I'm too scared to come here, or like, we will harass you if you come here?
Maybe, but I definitely see that happening. I definitely see MAGA harassing people from other countries, especially spectators or like athletes' families that come to support them.
Because right now, all we're seeing, the only people who are getting harassed it's all racial profiling. So if you're like black, brown, or Asian, you're going to get harassed.
Yeah.
And like, what could happen? You could end up having someone coming here for the World Cup or participating. They're part of the World Cup. They're in one of the countries. One of the athletes or managers or coaches or family members or just a fan, and they could end up in El Salvador, Syria, prison.
Yeah,
that kind of reminds me when the United States participated in the Olympics in Berlin during Hitler's time, when Jesse Owens was winning all the awards, and Hitler was, of course, getting pissed because he was an Aryan.
Exactly. Yeah, that is awesome. There's moments in history that are just so good.
Right?
Yeah.
Here he is in Berlin, and they're saying like the whites are more dominant, and here is a black man winning all the awards in track and field.
It's going to be interesting. I haven't even thought about that yet.
Yeah. And a lot of that stuff and a lot of these places are happening in sanctuary cities, especially here where we are in Los Angeles. Right. We're going to be hosting World Cup matches. I think even the final. I think we're hosting the championship, I believe. And we have the Olympic Games here. So it's all going to be here in LA. And Trump, what he thinks about Los Angeles and California?
Yeah, he's not a fan.
He'll probably set the reservoirs out and thinks he can flush everybody out with all the water coming in.
I bet Melania will come though.
Oh yes, she'll come.
She'll be hanging out with Newsom.
Oh, she'll have a three-way of Newsom and Trudeau coming down here. It's crazy, man. And then let's see. Oh, and then you saw like all the things that happened with all the hearings this weekend with like Linda McMahon, Howard Lutnick, and then David Robinson, who was the head of FEMA. The guy, they asked him about hurricane season. What are you going to do? Because you have like kind of dismantled a lot of the weather research and the weather board. And then also kind of took out the budget for like weather balloons and weather sources because we're about to hit hurricane season. He's like, there's no hurricane season. And then later he said that was a joke.
Oh, yeah, because he realized how stupid he sounds.
But he didn't even know there was a hurricane season, and it's starting right now at this very moment. And then you saw the weatherman in Miami, Florida, who told his viewers on local TV, like, listen, man, like 6 years ago, we were hit with the most hurricanes ever. And I was able to tell you, like, don't worry, it's going to go away. It's going to move. Stay where you are, folks. Or like, if you need to go, you have ample amount of time to pack up and go wherever you need to a safe space. I may not be able to provide that information now.
As you've grown accustomed to my presentations over my 34 years in South Florida newscasts, confidently, I went on TV and I told you it's going to turn. You don't need to worry. It is going to turn. And I am here to tell you that I am not sure I can do that this year because of the gutting, the sledgehammer attack on science in general, and I could talk about that for a long, long time, and how that is affecting the U.S. Leadership in science over many years, and how we're losing that leadership, and this is a multi-generational impact on science in this country, all right? But specifically, let's talk about the federal government cuts to the National Weather Service and to NOAA. Did you know that Central and South Florida National Weather Service offices are currently basically 20 to 40% understaffed? From Tampa to Key West, including the Miami office, 20 to 40% understaffed. Now, this type of staffing shortage is having impacts across the nation because there's been a nearly 20% reduction in weather balloon launches that carry those radiosondes. And what we're starting to see is that the quality of the forecasts is becoming degraded.
Yeah, that is real life scary that we're cutting out lots of safety measures. It's like I said earlier that systems are in place because we've been there before,
right,
and figured it out. The problem with these department heads is they're rich political donors.
Yeah, and they don't have any experience in these fields whatsoever.
None. They bought their position.
Yeah, and did you see that he just appointed a kid today, a 22-year-old kid today for the Department of Terrorism, to be the head of terrorism, who's never had any experience. He's 22. No experience whatsoever. What's he gonna do about terrorism?
I bet his parents are donors to Trump.
Yeah, obviously. They bought Trump coins, right?
There was one guy, they had a recording of him literally on the phone saying, Trump just nominated me to be this, and I don't know what the hell it does.
I get a phone call, and it's about Social Security, and I'm really not, I swear I'm not looking for a job. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do? So I'm Googling Social Security, one of my great skills. I'm one of the great Googlers on the East Coast. But that is the headline for the Post. Great Googler in chief. Chief and Googler, or whatever. By the way, I like to have fun at work. We're allowed to laugh. We're allowed to have fun. We're allowed to know each other's families. We're allowed to be normal. How's that? I'm like, what the heck's the commissioner of Social Security? First, nobody said we're calling you. It was about Social Security, so I'm trying to figure it out.
Dan Bongino or Cash Patel know what to do? They don't know what to do.
No.
Or Dan Bongino's like, he was on Fox last week. I don't know if you saw that clip, and he's like,
I gave up everything for this. I mean, my wife is struggling. I'm not a victim. I'm not Jim Comey. It's fine. I did this, and I'm proud I did it. But if you think we're there for tea and crumpets, well, I mean, Cash is there all day. We share it. Our offices are linked. He turns on the faucet. I hear it. He's there he gets in at like 6 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't leave till 7 at night. You know, I'm in there at 7:30 in the morning. He uses the gym. I work out in my apartment. But I stare at these four walls all day in D.C., by myself, divorced from my wife. Not divorced, but I mean separated, divorced. And it's hard. I mean, we love each other, and it's hard to be apart.
But you're doing some great work. You straighten out the FBI, you moving buildings. There's a lot of change.
He pretty much admitted he's separated with his wife because it's just too much. He didn't know what to do, and it's a much harder job than he thought because he realized it's not as easy as Fox News or a podcast.
Oh, right. Yeah, I believe that.
And you could tell he was about to cry. He looked like, if you see the video, he looks like he's having a nervous breakdown right there. And all these people, and the same thing with Linda McMahon, who's one of the owners of WWE, who's a billionaire as well, another oligarch. And she couldn't, during her hearing this week, she couldn't even have proper grammar.
Right. And what was we ranked in reading and math in 1979?
I'm sorry, what?
What was we ranked nationally in math and reading in 1979?
We were very, very low on the totem pole.
We're number one in 1979. Today.
Oh, in 1979. Okay.
In 1979, we were ranked number one around the world.
And I think, and she was getting softballs tossed to her by other MAGA senators, especially like John Wayne Mullins. And if you see that clip, he wasn't even using proper. He couldn't even say a correct sentence.
Yeah.
And she didn't know. And then they were talking about something like, or it was John Kennedy from Louisiana, Senator of Louisiana, and talking about like $1 billion per month or something.
We spend $1.858 billion a year on Trio.
Yes.
That's $1,580 million a year. So my math right?
I think that's right, sir.
And how long have we been spending $1,580 million a year on this program?
I'm not sure of the total length of time of the program.
More than 10 years?
Yes.
Senator Reid.
Well, thanks very much. Welcome, Madam Secretary. And I'm not a great mathematician, but I think you were talking about $1 trillion. I believe 1.5 billion times 10 is $15 billion. That's a little bit off from $1 trillion. But
I think the budget cuts $1.2 billion for Trio.
Well, 1.2, that would be $12 billion, not $1 trillion.
Okay.
Fine. Why aren't you recommending an audit for the Trio program if that's what the problem is?
Like these people are just, they don't know what they're doing. They're over their head.
Yeah, some of them are just like rich people that want to play government. Others do have motives though. Like one person that made me think about was Betsy DeVos.
Okay.
She was the education secretary during Trump's first term. Yeah.
Okay.
And she is a big proponent because she makes a lot of money from charter schools.
Oh, yeah.
So she wanted to destroy the Department of Education and get rid of it and allow charter schools all over the country.
And have a religious charter school so they can be tax exempt, correct?
Right.
But luckily, SCOTUS overruled that one, thank God.
Yeah, some of them do have some motive like that to make more money, but other times you do
the
get
same when they want to do with prisons, right? They want to privatize prisons as well.
Well, a lot of them are privatized already.
They are?
It's bad.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But another example is actually, I think it's Betsy DeVos's brother. Mm-hmm. His name is Eric Prince. And he he owns like a company of mercenaries, and he wants the government to hire him instead of the army going to other countries to fight wars, to hire his mercenaries.
Oh God. Yeah, I was kind of hearing that today along with the Linda McMahon thing. I guess because they're both in the education, right? So I thought it was DeVos's brother, right? I got it confused. I thought it was Linda McMahon's brother.
Yeah, no, it was DeVos's brother. I've heard about him a lot. Like most of the disgusting things that occurred, like in Iraq and Afghanistan, were done by his group.
Oh my God, we're screwed, man. We're all gonna die. Yeah, I mean, it's just like I just hope now on our first video that we don't get into their database and they show like when I come back from Europe this summer, I get detained and sent to a private prison in Syria.
Well, you better be careful.
Luckily, I'm like that's the bad news. The good news is I'm a white guy with a southern accent, middle-aged white guy with a southern accent. You and I are both two rednecks here. So I can wear the stormtrooper outfit, for a little while, unless they go through my phone or something. But I heard since you're an American citizen, they cannot go through your phone. They can do it if you're visiting.
Well, don't wear any anti-Trump stuff.
I'm wearing an AOC t-shirt.
I would not recommend that in Hungary.
Oh God, okay.
I think most of the people now.
But when I fly back, though, I can, right?
Yeah, they only since I've been going to Colombia the last couple of years, they only stop my Latino friends. Quick story. It's amazing. Okay. Me and my friend David, his parents are from Guatemala. I think he was born here and not in Guatemala, but his parents are definitely from Guatemala.
Okay.
Or his mom. So we're coming back together through customs in Miami. And we separate as we go to the officer to check our passports and stuff. And when I finish, I'm like, he's talking to these two like big dudes. So I walk over there and I'm like, what the hell's going on? And they were cops. They had regular clothes, but they had badges around their neck.
Okay.
And the guy looks at me and he's like, what do you need? What are you doing here? And I'm like, this is my buddy. We were traveling together. And he's like, okay. And then like it seemed like a burden on me. They're like, you have anything in your bag, any this or that? Meanwhile, they're ripping his bags apart and pulling everything out. And we ended up missing our connection flight because of it. But they didn't go through my bags at all, just him because he's
because
a brown
customs
person.
was delaying because of them.
Yeah. And he goes after, he's like, now you know what it's like to be a brown person.
Jesus Christ, man. And which airport were you at?
It was either Miami. Like
so you were coming back to the U.S. from Colombia.
Yeah, from Colombia, yeah.
And you haven't been, because I know you've gone there several times. You have never had any issues?
Not coming back at all.
No, they just look at you and go, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, well, let
me tell you, man. Like, I've gone out of the country many, many times, and each time I go up there, you got to show your passport. You got to do the fingerprint thing and all that crap.
Yeah.
And now most of the stuff is automatic. Most of the stuff now is, but back when you actually had to look at a passport clerk or whatever they were, the customs clerks and stuff, I would start pulling it out, and they're just like, "Don't even waste your time. Just keep going, man." Like really? Yeah. And my poor other friends, because a lot of times when I've gone with friends besides my family, a lot of my friends have been from other countries, but like white countries, like England, Ireland, South Africa, and they're always nervous as hell because they still have a green card and their visas and everything, right?
Yeah.
So they're always like, when I came back with them, like from Mexico or wherever the hell we came from, they were always like sweating bullets because they started their careers here in the U.S.
Right.
But when we go to like Cancun or Tulum or wherever we went to, or we fly back or drove back, they're always like, they're just scared until they finally became a U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
And that was 20 years ago.
And now they got to be scared again because I don't think it matters.
Even
whether
if you're
they're
a
U.S.
citizen
citizen or not.
Huh?
I don't think it matters whether they're a U.S. citizen or not.
Well, luckily, my friends are visiting right now. My friend, he's Irish, and then his wife is Thai, and they met here in L.A.
Yeah.
But they both became U.S. citizens while they were here in Los Angeles, and then recently, as you know, they moved back to Ireland. Now they're here back visiting, and none of them got harassed.
I think there's a certain category.
What's that category?
Brown or black, they don't. The Trump
Okay.
administration don't like.
And maybe Asian third?
Asians probably third, but the stereotype with Asians are, that they're really smart and this and that. So I don't think.
Well, he wants to deport all the Chinese students now.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that is.
There's just so much. There's so much craziness. That's the whole thing. We'll talk more about it. But anyway, let's wrap it up. That's the bad thing. Let's talk about the good news now. Let's talk about last night. We went to the Grammy Museum downtown Los Angeles to see Bear McCreary, who is a TV and film composer. His credits are he's done his first composing gig was Galactica, was a remake of Battlestar Galactica in 2000s, which I loved. And then he did the famous theme, The Walking Dead. And now he is doing Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power on Amazon.
Right.
And he talked about that. And that was very interesting because at first he talked about, his idol, John Williams. So he played little snippets of all the famous John Williams scores that he was like, what is this? And all that. And then he talked about how he developed a lot of the music for the characters that are on the new Lord of the Rings series, Rings of Power. And I thought this was, it was a very intimate, it was probably about 50, 70 people there, you think, Andy?
Yeah, I couldn't believe how small it was. It was
and it was very intimate, and he's a very extroverted, very articulate guy who was very knowledgeable about things and really was good about relaying it to people like us who don't really know about how to compose. But I think just from that short time, that 1 hour, I kind of learned some valuable tips. Did you?
Yeah, there was a few things that he talked about that was a little over my head, musically.
Mm-hmm.
But he did do a really good job explaining the themes that he talked about.
Right.
And one of the most interesting things I thought was that he had different themes for each of the characters.
Right.
That kind of blew my mind. I never ever thought about that being a thing that you go into composing music for this show and you have 15 characters and they each get kind of their own song as they come for their scene.
Right.
So
and it was cool that he said he needed to know the future of some of these characters. A lot of these characters are a mystery or mysteries. You don't know if they're bad or good, but he needed to know so he could create that kind of music as a team, I guess.
Yeah, that little story was really cool too.
And then I also loved how he talked about the trolls or whatever during the battle. I guess he has started a metal band and he's in the metal as well. So he got a famous metal dark metal, Norse metal, Viking metal singer, and one of their famous another band got one of the drummers, and then got the Bulgarian women's choir. The story's cool. How he got to mesh those three together with his score, and this metal drummer and a metal singer, then mesh that with a Bulgarian choir who didn't know the vocabulary of whatever the Elven language or whatever this or the troll language or whatever the Lord of the Rings language, and they were being kind of resistant about it because they were like, we don't know this, can we sing in Bulgarian? He's and he, I guess it was an FDA, he wasn't allowed to tell them what they were doing the music for, and eventually he had to tell them, listen, man, this is for Lord of the Rings. Don't do it in Bulgarian. They're like, oh, okay, we'll learn it. I love that anecdote. Did you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally. It's interesting, and I love the stories about when he was guys, I need to know what this character is doing.
Right.
He said there was a few mystery characters.
Yeah, it was one guy who's the mystery guy,
and he's like, I need to know so I can write a song that will go with his storyline.
Yeah. They're is he going to be a bad guy or a good guy at the end?
Right.
Of the series.
Because
we can't tell you. He's like, well, I need to know because I have to create this type of music. And so they had to tell him in deep, dark secret, right?
Yeah. I've had experiences with those secrets.
What?
In productions.
What? Really?
Oh yeah.
Are you still on an FDA call?
I don't want to get into it.
I don't want us to get sued or anything.
Yeah, no, it's like some of the things that occur on like I worked for the VMAs or those live award shows.
Okay.
There's
And
some
you knew who won
things
already?
that we have to know while editing or prior, or we're building a package for them to show, but it's a secret right now until it's revealed at the show. So
Right.
we're not allowed. Not allowed to say anything.
You're already preparing the show for the show.
Yeah, like if they're doing
you're already showing the effects or the titles of the winner before the winner even knows.
It takes time. So even before nominees are announced, we would know, because we'd have the list of lower thirds you need to make.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they do a special like honor thing. They're honoring somebody, but they don't want that let out. There was an interesting time with Taylor Swift released a video, her new song, her new video.
Right.
And
that was supposed to be a big surprise.
That was top secret. Like, we at the production company were not allowed to have a copy of like the file. We were allowed to ingest it into Avid, into the editing system, and have that, but we weren't allowed to have a raw copy of the file because it was that secret. What?
And did you have to sign an NDA and blood and stuff?
I signed an NDA once or twice, but most of the time it was like, I don't know if my boss did, but my boss was like, "Listen, guys, you're not saying nothing about this," or he's like, it's my ass too.
So you had a good time last night.
Yeah. I was, like usual, when you invite me to weird things I don't know what I'm getting into, I was pleasantly surprised.
And then next week I'm going to take you to a ESPN 30 for 30 series. We're going to go see that at the New House next week, so we can talk about on the next episodes what you thought about that. So
okay, yeah.
I have no clue what episode they're going to show or who's going to be there doing the Q&A, what guests they're going to have, but it's always a fun surprise. And
you know what my favorite 30 for 30 is?
What is that?
It's an old one. It's called The Two Escobars.
Okay.
And it's about Colombia and the 1994 World Cup.
I knew it, and the guy got killed after they lost to the US. They lost to the US, right?
They lost to the US, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was wild,
In the group
but I recommend everyone go watch that one. That one's it's amazing.
And so Pedro Escobar had the player Escobar murdered?
No, it wasn't even him.
Huh?
Well, the story is like Pablo Escobar, did a lot of bad things.
Yes.
But he also did a lot of good things for the poor people in Colombia at the time.
So he was kind of like a Robin Hood to them.
Yeah, and one of the things he did was he funded a lot of youth soccer.
Okay.
And it built up this thing where Colombia started becoming like a nationally known football
Getting
club.
better.
And the reason it's two Escobars, because the guy who got shot his name was Andreas Escobar. But I don't believe.
And he was on the national team, right?
He was on the national team. He was the defenseman that accidentally put it in his own goal.
Oh, that deflected off of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm pretty positive it wasn't Pablo that, had him shot, but I think it was same idea is like,
just mad fans.
Somebody lost a lot of money because they lost that
game.
Yeah. But it was really sad, but it was really cool because I love Colombia. So
you do. You may have to get deported there one day.
I'm trying to get deported there.
Well, this is our first show. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Merlin, and that's Andy. We're all going to die, and we're going to this is our pilot show, and hope you make sure to subscribe to our channel, hit that bell button, so when the next We Are Gonna Die episode comes out, you know it. We'll also start having clips on social media. Hopefully we'll get it on Instagram, TikTok, even do short clips on YouTube as well. For right now, unless we get a cease and desist order, if someone else has We Are All Gonna Die, But until then, this is going to be the title of our channel. We are all going to die with Andy and Merlin. So I hope you enjoy it. And we'll be talking about the same stuff, politics and pop culture. Right, Andy?
Right. I love it.
Anything else to say?
Nope. I gotta go.
So we will see y'all in the next episode, guys. Thank you for watching the premiere.
Hey,
Later.
they're freaks.
Bye-bye, guys.
It's time again. Andy and Merlin, your cursed best friends. Flames rise high. Don't even try. 'Cause we're all gonna die!